Welcome to the Chop Shop, your midday sports happy hour, your best 120 minutes of your day. Yours truly, Jim Hicks, live in H-Town. Of course, Robert Hatter, he's in transit today, and we'll be back with you guys on Monday. He's up in the friendly skies. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to open up the phone lines later today. Just a lot of good stuff, and we're going to need you guys to share the show, if you will, at this time, so that you can share it to your friends, your pages, your groups, and whatnot. Get right into it. Of course, opening day baseball, Houston Astros this afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time. They host the New York Mets, a revitalized New York Mets team. And I'm certainly anxious and hoping that the Astros can come out with a victory with this new look Astros team. A lot of transitions or transactions, I would say, that took place in the off season. And we don't know how this team is going to look. We're hoping that we can get some victories. A lot of players, of course. Altuve is in the outfield. Now how's that going to work? We also have little Cam Smith. He's making his debut as a rookie, the second youngest rookie to ever start opening day for the Astros. He's expected to be in right field today. So that's 2 new sets of legs in the outfield for the Astros. I'm just hoping the best thing that can happen is for an easy fly ball to go to left field, an easy fly ball to go to right field. That way both guys can get leather on the ball and then get the butterflies all the way out. Because normally in baseball, if you hit a ball in the outfield and you make the easy play, now your adrenaline increases because you want another ball. You want another one. It's like, okay, that was good. Now come on, hit me another one. I'm ready for another one. And that's what we need, especially for the young fella, Cam Smith. And what we do now, we'll give out our starting 5 for the Chop Shop, as I do a lot of the times. And you guys can see Darrell Anderson is first up. Shout to Darrell Anderson. He's probably selling the 7 C's somewhere. And Thaddeus Moody, we're going to welcome you to the Chop Shop. You're in the starting 5 today. Up in Chicago, Illinois, the Windy City. D. Holcomb, welcome to the Chop Shop today. You made the starting 5. Also, Barry McDonald made the starting 5. Yes, right. Hicks is on the mic. We're getting it in. And last but not least, Alfio Vizzi is in the starting 5. I mentioned we talked Astros a little bit, and like I say, today is opening day. I'm looking, and they're not the only team that will be in action today. There's a whole slate of games around the country, and I'm just in case, starting at 2 p.m. Central Time, Milwaukee is at the Yankees. The Yankees have 8 players on the injury reserve to start the season. 8 players. Guess what? Astros, the last thing that we would do is be feeling sorry for the Yankees. Baltimore is at Toronto. Boston is at Texas. That's an intriguing series right there. Alex Bregman is with the Boston Red Sox now. He thought initially thought he was going to play third base. He got there. Devers was like, no, third base is my position. I ain't relinquishing it. So, that, then all of a sudden, he goes over and finally decides, you know what, Bregman, you can have third. I'll go on and DH. Somebody convinced him to do that. You're talking about, understand something. Devers led the entire Major League Baseball of all third basemen in errors for about 6 seasons in a row. He's the mouse in the house. Even though you're a multiple all-star. But on defense, you are a liability. Bregman just won a gold glove. You bring the best defensive with compatible hitting as you, and sit down. Rest. Let it play itself out. Be the good teammate. You're still going to get at bat, and you still can go and you're going to play some reps at third base this season. But that's one of the games today as well. Boston at Texas. That's a 3:05 start as well. Very, very intriguing. Cleveland is at Kansas City. Los Angeles Angels at the White Sox. The Minnesota is at St. Louis. That's another intriguing series that's going to start the season off. Detroit is at the Dodgers. The Oakland A's is at Seattle. That wraps up the American League and National League action today. We have Philadelphia at Washington. That's a good one. Atlanta at San Diego. That's today at 3:10 is first pitch. Pittsburgh is at Miami today. And of course, Skeens is the opening day pitcher for Pittsburgh. San Francisco Giants at Cincinnati. And of course, the Chicago Cubs at Arizona. All of these games are today. And of course, that Valdez will be on the mound for the Astros. Like I say, I can't hardly wait. I just need them to get a win. But at the same, even if they don't, Astros started off last season. Remember, 1 year ago, the Yankees was in Houston for a 4-game slate and beat the Astros not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 straight times to open the season. Still, there was no panic. Remember, we have time. It's 182 games in the baseball season. So, long season. And at the same time, it will help if the Astros can make a little noise. Now, got that out the way for you guys. Now, basketball action this evening. Now that was of course trying to see the schedule for you. I got the schedule for you guys somewhere. Looking from the Houston Chronicle. And that is the schedule for today. March Madness, the Sweet 16 resumes on the men's side. And there are 4 games today, 4 games tomorrow. The winners of each one of them will play either Saturday or Sunday. So today we have Florida and Maryland. This is from the Chase Center, the West region in San Francisco. That's Florida and Maryland at approximately 6:40 p.m. That will be followed by Texas Tech and Arkansas, which is a very, very, very good game. Maryland, they're in a situation whereas the coach has accepted the Villanova job, according to reports, and which is, I guess that's the new trend. And I'm looking, and not only is he leaving for Villanova, and that is in the press release, in the press conference, he basically rolled Maryland up under the bus in regard to explaining how the team wanted to stay an extra day during the recent event game, and they didn't want to pay for an extra day. They said they didn't have the money in the budget. They don't, NIL. They don't, basically just let it go. And now Maryland is open. Wow. And once again, it's the latest of a team that's it's the new now. Teams in the midst of March Madness. And, this was the NFL or the NBA, they would call it poaching. They would call it tampering. But now, one thing about how the rules are, it's okay. It's no off season for when a coach can leave one of these kids or leave a group of these kids. There's no limits. There's no dead period. There's none of that. And now, once you acknowledge that these players are indeed no longer amateurs, that they are independent contractors at the least case scenario, once you acknowledge it, then I think that this basketball or this NCAA or this whole spectrum will be a whole lot better. But back to other games tonight in college basketball. We have Alabama and BYU at 6. That's about 6:10. That would be on CBS. This is the East Regional. So the West Regional and the East Regional games are tonight. That Alabama BYU game, once again, it's about 10 minutes after 6. It's going to be tip-off on CBS. The second game on CBS will be Duke in Arizona. That would tip off approximately 8:40 p.m. Right? So you have a 6:10 and an 8:40. It's approximately 2 hours and 30 minutes apart. CBS, then you can go and hit the back button on your remote, and you go from CBS to TBS. And if you just missed it, TBS, Florida and Maryland at 6:40, followed by Texas Tech, Arkansas at approximately 9:10. So the games are staggered. You get a chance to get the first half of one, which is great, the way that they scheduled those. That way they're not at the same time. You get the endings of each game will not overlap. That's for certain. So then, of course, on Friday, the South and the Midwest regionals will resume action in their part of the Sweet 16. And that is Michigan State and Mississippi. They will tip it off. They will play first. Then Auburn and Michigan would be second. Those 2 games will be headquartered in Atlanta, right? At the State Farm Arena. Once again, Michigan State and Mississippi, Auburn and Michigan. So Auburn, who's the 1 seed, of course, overall, and they appear to be the only team that's a 1 seed that, well, they're not the only one. I'm looking at it's a 1 seed that's playing nearby and driving. You have to get on the plane to go from Auburn to Atlanta unless you wanted to. It's a good car drive. Auburn and Michigan should be a great game. Michigan State and Mississippi should be a great game. We got all. Then of course on Friday as well, Tennessee. Excuse me, I had a good quick hiccup. Back with you guys. Now that's in Indiana. Again, in Indiana, Tennessee and Kentucky. This is Friday, followed by Houston and Purdue. And Houston is the 1 seed, Purdue the 4 seed. That's a car drive away. Many people are speculating that Purdue crowd would dwarf or could dwarf the University of Houston crowd because of the proximity of the school of Purdue, which is in Indiana. And so basically you might as well just gave Purdue a 1 seed. Houston gets a 1 seed, and their reward is having to play Purdue in the Sweet 16 in Indiana. You know, I understand nobody can project them, that something like that, but a 4 seed. That don't even smell right. You guys know what I'm talking. It don't even smell right. But at the same time, all U of H got to do is keep on keeping on to what they're doing, and that is defending, especially out the gates. They're what and when you see teams defending like that consistently out the gates, what it means to me is that scout is being perfected. You know, I mean, during the games, you know, even how to admit it, you know, sometimes when we cover the Texas Southern University game, you know, after a while, in a couple of moments, you can throw that scout, you can just toss that thing up in the air. You know, it's a game plan for what you're trying to do in order to give you the best opportunity at being successful. Now, things change in the midst once the ball go in the air, once the clock starts. And it's almost like, you know, like the NBA draft or the NFL draft. You can think and plan who you're going to pick if you got the 20th pick, but as somebody else might pick this guy that you had as your first option A, somebody else might pick the 13th pick, might pick your option B, the 16th pick might pick your C. You have to go now and audibilize. You have to problem solve now. And that's what what U of H, when they enter these games and they're coming out the gate, as I'm saying, it's almost like whatever you could tell, whatever they're doing, their plan is, the players are all in, locked in, and they are executing. So, guess what? Many people to U of H can be about, and understand, LJ Cry has been stepping up. It is what it is. He has been stepping up in the postseason, and that's all it takes to get everybody else a little bit looser. His line is right on. You know, I think against Purdue, JoJo Tuckler, we're going to need an A+ game from JoJo Tuckler. An A+ game. That's what we're going to need. You know. And I see you guys up in there. I'm just Reginald Simpson and Sterling Creeks. I see you. Brandon Weefall. I see Eric Harrison. DeFron Farb. I see you. Michael Jordan. I see you up in there. Michael Jordan asked me, am I dropping my picks to these games? Remember, I got bracket, man. I got bracket. My bracket ain't bad. I got the women's and the men's bracket. My bracket ain't bad. Now understand, it's the same bracket from day one. You know, my East and my Midwest region, I'm feeling good about that. There you go. That's my picks. All right? I got Auburn winning. I got Michigan State winning. All right? I got Texas Tech winning. Need Texas Tech to win because I got them going to the Final Four. All right? I got U of H winning. I got Tennessee over Kentucky. I got Duke and Alabama winning. That's my bracket. Then I got rematch in the championship. U of H gets some get back on Auburn. In case you're looking, in case you're wondering, this is my girls' bracket. My girls, I'm grooving with the girls. They're so predictable. Man, look at that. This is my women bracket. So I'm rooting for UCLA to win. I'm rooting for LSU. USC, that's hurt. Kansas State gonna be tough, but especially without Juju, right? Got UConn winning down at the bottom. Of course, in the Birmingham regional, I got Texas and TCU both winning to get a Texas showdown. If Texas and TCU win, that guarantees a Texas team in the Final Four, right? Then up top, I got South Carolina and North Carolina advancing from the Sweet 16. Now, of course, in case you wonder, the women's Final Four would be in Tampa, Florida, as the men's would be in San Antonio. No matter what, it's intriguing. The numbers are up. I think the ratings are up for NCAA for the men's. I think it's the highest ratings they've had in like 7 years. So these are some good games. It's compatibility that is amongst us right now. All right? I see you, Lester Howard. Big coach said you got the Jimmy. Do you got the rosters? Rosters. I know you meant there's a misspelling error, but no rosters to what? And can you clarify on that? Michael Jordan says the women's was easy. South Carolina going to be a challenge. Yes, South Carolina is the favorite. They're overwhelming #1 seed. But remember, UConn has punched them in the throat. North Carolina has beaten them this year. North Carolina State, that is. Not North Carolina. And that's what I said earlier. I think I said South Carolina and North Carolina will meet. And where's North Carolina State? Oh, that's right. They're playing LSU. Yeah, so I got them falling to LSU. That makes sense. But yeah, let me know. So Trey Phillips says U of H women has hired Matthew Mitchell, has been off the sideline for 4 years. Trey, is that a good hire? What's your thoughts on that hire in the women's spectrum? Once again, guys, if you're just tuning into the Chop Shop, we're going to ask if you would be so kind to share the show, right, to your platforms, to your pages, whatnot. And I'm looking at some of the comments. Somebody asked another question: has Houston ever been considered for a women's Final Four? Not sure, but of course we've had multiple men's, and it's on the way. You have to put a bid in. That's all. You have to put a bid in, and we understand. Houston has improved a great deal over the last 2 decades. With I remember a couple of years, maybe 20 years ago, they had the Final Four here, something like that, and people said everything was too far. But then they put the rail system had got completed, and then people bought into doing some of that. But and then people gave Houston a chance. Yeah, it can be warm here, but boy, if you know where you're going, or if you latch on to somebody that knows where to take you, then you're gonna have a ball in H-Town. You're gonna get your grub on. That's the least you're gonna do in H-Town. But there's so many different places to go and explore that I mean, for real, guys. I mean, it's you know it. People come from out of town all the time, and they leave here like, man. So yeah, I'm quite sure it's a matter of time for women's Final Four to be granted to H-Town. In regard, if you just missed it, of course, Trey Phillips, Matthew Mitchell, we were talking about him briefly. And Trey says he had success at Kentucky, but to be gone for 4 years, it's going to be about his staff. Yeah. And they brought a guy out of retirement, basically. He was idle for 4 years. And it's going to be intriguing to see how that goes. And no matter what happens at U of H, I mean, as far as basketball, man, you're in a tough situation because of the success of the men's and the culture of the men's. Well, maybe a new coach can probably get some of this stuff to rub off, and they can attract, because now you got a new coach for the first time in your new conference, and we'll see how this goes. Looking at what we do also, we have, and you guys have questions and you post them on there, I'll be glad to take some of them. We'll talk, we're 48 minutes past the hour. Once we get to the top of the hour, we'll talk more recruiting and transfer portal stuff. That's an ongoing topic of the day, and amongst other stuff, grassroots conversations at the top of the hour. So we're 12 minutes away from that convo starting up. So I know you guys love to get up into that. Also, yesterday, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't, by default, I happened to catch the LeBron James conversation with Pat McAfee. And then by default, I happened to catch, the TV happened to be on this morning, and I happened to catch Stephen A. Smith's response, his 16-minute response. And this thing is ugly, but it's box office because you're talking about arguably the most popular NBA or sports talk show host in the country is at odds with arguably the most popular basketball player in the world. And it was admitted by Stephen A. Smith that he don't like LeBron. That was his words today. He admitted he don't like him. But just curious, any of you guys see that? What are your thoughts on it? It's supposedly started, but the way that this sound, it probably started before then. Sometimes some things can start and you can use it as a reason, or you can use it as an excuse, and it really can be another reason. But reportedly, allegedly, the topic was when Stephen A. Smith expressed his opinion about LeBron James, the topic of LeBron James and his son being with the Lakers, being drafted by the Lakers, being with the Lakers, playing with the Lakers. So this is where it started. And then of course it climaxed when they both saw each other in person, and there was a hot camera or a hot mic in somewhere in striking distance, and that's led to eventually a 1 hour interview from LeBron James and Pat McAfee, followed by a whole entire segment. Segments are like right at 15 minutes. He used a whole block to respond. He means Stephen A. to LeBron James, calling them petty and you know, this is intriguing. Like I say, it's going to keep people talking. But the way that on LeBron's side, and I say it all the time, it's hard to beat a person who buys ink by the gallon. That's an old cliche in media. You're not going to beat a person that buys ink by the gallon. Meaning that, so, because of that platform, that was yesteryear. Remember, that was the time when media, mainstream media, was your only way to be seen or have a platform of such. Now you have streams, you have different other things that goes on play, but that's an old adage. But in many cases, it's still true. LeBron James wins as he keeps winning on the court and in his profession and in his community. He can keep winning, because as more as you do, that means by default, Stephen A. Smith made a pledge. As much as he admittedly don't like LeBron James, he made a pledge to be professional and do his job. So if the Lakers are winning, then you have to talk about it. He's saying that, I'm not going to root against them. That's not even human nature. Human nature is, let's be real, he would rather be in L.A. than anywhere, any of those other cities probably in the playoffs. Yeah, I get you that, but you're not rooting for the success, because the success of LeBron James would means that gives more stripes on his sleeve. I get it. I've been in similar situations. But I'll go and check out some of your comments now. And before I get on comments, hey yo, yes, I see your comments. Here you go. You think Florida gonna win it all by me? They're tough. I don't see no team matching up with them. Understand something. Before we get into this, we get back to the LeBron James topic. AEO, this thing is open. This thing is, understand, we're in a Sweet 16. And all it takes is to win 4 games now. 3 games get you to the championship. There are multiple teams that can get to this championship. Understand, Arkansas is not all the way healthy. Texas Tech can get to this championship. Don't understand. These wins and losses can fool. Oh, you understand? These conferences is so compatible. I put it like this: we are in the Sweet 16, and I'm gonna go out on the limb. I'm gonna count the amount of teams that have double-digit losses. Double-digit losses. There are about approximately a half dozen of them. Arkansas, they're 22-13. Ole Miss, 24-11. Arizona's 24-12. Purdue is 24-11. Kentucky is 24-11. Those are the teams that have double-digit losses. That's 5 teams of the Sweet 16. I'm going to give you the amount of teams that's 10 losses or more. How about the amount of teams that have 8 losses or more this season? Maryland, 27-8. Texas Tech, 27-8. Right? Michigan, 27-9. BYU, 26-9. Alabama, 27-8. Arizona, 24-12. And that's 11 of the 16 teams have at least 8 losses. That means these guys are beatable. These guys are beatable. Florida is good. Yeah, but these other guys are good as well too. This ain't a cakewalk. Whoever makes it to the Final Four is going to be a good ticket. The scalpers are rejoicing right now. I'm telling you. And I'm going to tell you, if a team like BYU gets there, we're in San Antonio. Those BYU alums was just in San Antonio back in December when their football team beat the snot out of Colorado in that Alamo Bowl. So they had fun. Now, wasn't good for bars. A lot of their fans ain't frequent a lot of the bars. So that means San Antonio, the restaurants aren't going to be rooting for BYU. But BYU versus Alabama, understand that's compatible. Alabama just beat up on Auburn right before in the tournament. Remember, Auburn just limped in there. Remember, they got a #1 seed despite losing like 3 games in a row, or 3 of their last 4, something like that. So let's get back into Stephen A. Smith stuff. Now, Otis says it's a bad look for a generalist to keep a beef going with a star athlete or any professional athlete. You're a generalist. You're going to rub people wrong all the time. But just like a referee, you got to have thick skin and keep it moving. Yeah. Doug Jones. Big Doug says Stephen A. Smith will never win because a lot of people eyes LeBron can do anything wrong. What you guys think about that? You say he would never win. Understand something, guys. Stephen A. Smith has been in this space before. Be careful and just pay attention. Remember, he's been on a regular on Fox News. He's claiming and toying with the idea of running for president. For him to be a recurring personality or guest on the Fox News network means there are people that approve of him, and they always seek and find that black guy, that black talent that they could use as a weapon against versus his race. He's the next one up. I don't feel sorry for him, but the way that he did it, understand, he tactfully inserted himself on Team Jordan. So that's already a rift within our black community. Jordan versus LeBron. So now he's just made it etched in stone. You will never be greater than Michael Jordan, according to Stephen A. Smith. So that means there are people that may not like Stephen A. Smith. They're still going to say, I'm on Team Jordan too. Now there's going to be other people that don't like Stephen A. Smith that'll be in the middle and say, you know what, man, I don't like how you did that. I wasn't on Team Bron at first, but now I'm Team Bron. And vice versa. There's going to be people that really didn't like Stephen A. Smith, but they did. But it's different prongs on this thing. But they didn't really like LeBron. Didn't really like Stephen A. Smith. Didn't really care about neither one of them, because you just been all the way Michael Jordan in this thing. And now, you know, you might lean this way. It's intriguing. It really is. More comments. One that says, as a man, I think LeBron went up to him as a man and addressed how he felt about what was said, and that should have been it. No need going on other platforms to keep this going. Stop. Put it back on there for you guys in case you missed it. Stop feeding the monster. Starve it to death. What you guys think about that? He went up to him. I mean, I said it when it happened. He probably had it on his mind on site. Whenever I see this dude, you know, he probably sitting there with a glass of red. Say, whenever I see this dude, it's on site. I'm gonna let him know. Happened to be coming out of a timeout in the middle of a basketball game while you had work and you see him. All right. And Trey says people can read lips, but if Stephen A. never tells what was said, some of this would die down. Now it's two people going back and forth. You guys, come on, give me your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? If you're Shannon Sharpe and you're a top 5 brunch sexual, would you feel a type of way that he went on McAfee's show and not Club Shay Shay? Just a question. Once again, I saw the Stephen A. conversation. I paid attention to most of it, and I did hear him allege that an agreement was made to get LeBron on this show, as his agent was on McAfee's show a few days, a week or so ago. And so now you have LeBron come on the heels of this for a whole hour. And, you know, that means some type of deal. And normally when you work a deal with a guy in the media, what comes with that deal is a layer of protection. Meaning, however those guys on the McAfee show felt about LeBron before, the needle has been moved in favor of him. Not saying they favor him all the way, but it's been moved, because in the business you get appreciative when you get an exclusive. That was an exclusive. That was a whole hour, dude. A whole hour. No commercials. ESPN say, you know, the producers in your ear, they telling you, hey, toss the break. We got to go to break. We got to go to break. You know, break now. You know, and you know, it's like somebody was like, man, forget that. We run them commercial spots after a while. We can't break this. It's too good. So they made it into an entire show within the show. Now the question that Doug Jones says, he asked, if you're Shannon Sharpe, would you feel some type of way that LeBron went on his McAfee show and not on Club Shay Shay? It depends, Doug. If Shannon Sharpe has extended an invite to get Bron on and Bron has turned him down, then you feel some kind of way. If you haven't asked, then the closed mouth can't get fed. And you don't know what leverage that Rich Paul used in making this happen. Somebody owes somebody a bag, which that's not needed, but favor. You know, I owe you one. Somewhere, somehow, from some angle, is going to come towards one of Rich Paul's clients. You can best believe that. That's the part I gotta do is connect. Just pay attention. Just pay attention. Within the near future, the favor is going to be reciprocated or returned. That's how it goes. That's the business. Of course, What else we got? We got some more. Got some more comments. I2 says controversy sells. Yes, it does. It does. And that definitely, you know, people will be talking about this topic. I can imagine social media is probably playing ping pong with it. It's going to be going through the weekend. And then guess what? It couldn't have been greater for LeBron because he goes and scores. Remember, he was in the midst of having a horrible offensive game. Remember, he has the record for the longest streak over 1,300 consecutive games where he scored 10 points or more. 82 games in the season. If 1,300, that's, guys, that's like 14, 15 straight years where he scored 10 points or more. You know, well, 13 plus straight years. They scored 10 points or more. He was on the verge of having that streak broken on that day. It made people say, oh boy, LeBron probably bit off more than he can chew. Shouldn't have went his ass on that show. And now, and I don't know, where's the Pat McAfee show based in? You guys, do you guys know? I'm gonna check it out. Somebody can okay, that makes sense. It's in Indiana. Now I was wondering, like, man, I know they ain't had to fly out of town. It's in Indianapolis, Indiana. That's where the show is based. Now that makes sense. Why one of the guys used to play for the Colts is on the team. That makes sense. I never even paid attention to where his studio was, but it's in Indiana. And the Lakers were in Indiana to play their NBA team last night, right? The Pacers. So I get it. So yeah, but LeBron scored the winning tip, the buzzer-beating tip, won the game. That's reason to pour another glass of red and light a stick. So you win. That's why I say LeBron wins as he can continue to make memories, continue to add another notch on your belt, on your sleeve, far as your legacy as a professional basketball player. Remember, he just tied Kobe last night for the 8th buzzer beater, right, in their career. The most is 9. By whom? MJ. So 8 buzzer beaters. He's 1 buzzer beater away, LeBron, from tying Michael Jordan in that category. So you already know, if there's the next time that the Lakers are trailing or tied, and that's the last possession, you already know who's getting that ball. You know who's getting that ball. I'm telling you. It's, you know, and it could be a good thing. Because now that I think about this Stephen A. Smith stuff, I had a tape to you. I had something to insert something for you guys to take to run with. Sometimes something that a person can say can serve as a motivating force for you to prove them wrong. It happens all the time. When I used to do the rankings, when I would say this team, I would do projections. Some kids would be motivated to the point there were certain coaches, high school coaches, would go and print RCS Sports projections and put it in the locker room and would highlight it. I've had coaches call me and basically plea or lobby with me. Hey man, How many you got picking us to win by? Or how you pick? Hey man, can you please pick us to lose? I've had coaches, not one, not two, not three. I've had multiple coaches throughout the years have practically begged me to pick their team to lose. That way they can make their job easier. And they can go and blow it up, and I become the villain. And those kids, they can go, and the coach give them a speech and tell them just how, see, Jim Hicks don't think. Look how he think of y'all. He said he going to whoop y'all. You know, he picking y'all to lose by 4, by 7. Well, you know, and that has fueled people. Now, see those coaches again? Hey, man, thanks, man. Good looking out. So my point is, that could serve as motivation. It could. And one thing that LeBron James definitely needed is something additionally from an outside force to motivate him on that court. Now, he didn't have a great game last night, but he made a great play. Period. Now, back to, let me give you some more. We got some more comments I'm going to post on there. Stephen A. Smith is turning into a black Skip Bayless. I think Stephen A. has taken a page out of Skip's book. The LeBron hate boosted Skip's rating and popularity. To a degree, yes, because they talked about him almost every day. It was a topic that people would not let go of. It sparked advertisers wanted their spots around before or after that block. Yeah. Forbes says Braun went on McAfee to take a shot at Stephen A. It's possible. Let's not forget now. And then guess what? McAfee, he introduced the topic. He brought the topic up, which, and as a journalist, he was doing his job, because you're supposed to ask a question that the majority of people want to know. What's this deal with you and Stephen A? And it just went from there. It was like, man, you just pulled a string and the lawnmower just started cutting grass. You know? Karen Freeman says, rich folks' problems. So, in case you remember a while ago, Doug Jones posed this question: if you're Shannon Sharpe, would you feel some type of way? And so there are now some people that have asked. Forbes says yes. Trey Phillips says no, because Shannon is working with Stephen as well. And Doug, of course, Doug, I can see it, but it was convenient that Braun was in Indy the last couple of days. Well, that's when they made the deal. When they made the deal for him to come, you look and you see, okay, Lakers gonna be in town. You know, I can get you Braun on this show. You know. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Michael Jordan. They filmed it on Tuesday. The show aired yesterday. So, and the unfiltered version is on YouTube. Oh. So what's different in the unfiltered version? They went for an entire hour. Now you can easily clip some stuff. Don't get it twisted. I do television. I know that they can splice some stuff and make it seem like it's a constant stream. But if they, that's the kind of crazy part. If they filmed it on Tuesday, then they could have easily let the people know and just went to break and ran some commercials in there and got that money, I guess. But they chose not to do so. They didn't want people to tune away. I guess that was a direct shot at at Colin Cowherd, you didn't want people to go and give him no airtime on that particular day, on yesterday. That's the competitor of Pat McAfee as far as their time slots. I was going to say the tip in don't count. He didn't take the original shot. Yeah, but he got a rebound, and a basket, and a FGM for that particular play. And somebody said that was the former U of H player Jarvis Walker, who didn't block out LeBron. Wow, hey man, that's a good job. Jarvis Walker was on the court during the closing seconds of a key game like that. So we got Paul Miranda in the house. Oh, okay, on the unedited. Yeah, I get it now, because they did blank some of that, a lot of that out. During the actual Pat McAfee show. I asked him, I'll show it for you guys. Asked what was the difference between the unedited version. Yeah, they had a lot of yeah. Okay, so I got it on that. Got it. So that's what we have, and of course it's 19 minutes past the hour on the Chop Shop. We're going to ask you guys now to share the show as we pivot into the transfer portal and the recruiting sector. Let me pull up the updated list of transfer portal players that are posted on rcssports.com. Right now, as it stands, it's 32 players from Greater Houston that are in the transfer portal. 32. And these are guys that are vying for scholarships that some of your players at the non-Division I level, the JUCO level, and even the high school level are vying for these spots. I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of names on here out of these 32 that when they went to the school that they're transferring from, I would have bet my right pocket that they would have been leaving. I would have, like easily. If I was a casino, I would have cleaned up. There was a whole lot of guys, and I would have easily said, "Oh, he won't last. He won't last 2 years there at the said school." I'm just looking at this list, and this is on rcssports.com, and the vast majority of the players in the transfer portal, either they transfer sideways or downward in levels, in budgets, either sideways or down, as far as the school. But everybody thinks they're going to go equal to or greater than. Pretty much everybody. It's all 32 of the guys in the portal right now. They think they're going to equal or greater than. But in reality, the equal to, for the most part, for about 90%, is going to go equal to or below. I had somebody call me yesterday about one of the players. I'm not going to say his name. and they asked me about the player. Was looking for Will Wade's cell phone number so that this young man, they can introduce Will Wade to him, to his, connect them. And this young man that they're talking about, played at a low major. A low major. And well, he did not dominate at the low major. And so my response to the gentleman was, does he just want to be on the team, or is he trying to transfer somewhere so he can go and play? Because I need to know that before we can proceed in the conversation. Does he just want to be on the team for somebody else's self-satisfaction so they can go and come home and wear the school hoodie in the summertime to show everybody, okay, I'm going to this school, but then when season comes, you're not going to play. You're not likely to play. Is that what you want? Is that's a question that many of you guys should be asking a lot of these kids out here, regardless of age. If they're trying to transfer, which are you trying to play, or do you just want to be on this particular Division I team? We need to know this, because if we know this, then we can know how to proceed. Because if you go there and we pull some strings and you end up going to school and you don't play, that way now you can't blame nobody but your damn self. And if you're not going to play, my thing is, understand something, guys, with me. If any of you guys are watching, you're calling me to ask me for a favor, to connect you guys, connect a kid or you with certain coach so that you can promote a certain kid. Here's the deal. That's like me co-signing a loan. That's for me I'm giving my word, I'm approving it if I connect you. No problem. Don't mean I disapprove it. If I don't connect you, that means I'm approving it. Now, if I approve it, that means I got to influence that coach to take your call and then give a few good words about the prospect. If I do that, which I have done multiple times, and the kid is not understood, and the kid realize he don't play or he don't go like he hoped to have gone, and then guess what? The kid shuts it down, wants to quit, wants to go home, wants to transfer. What that does is that's like a strike against my credit rating with that particular coach. So that means the next person going to call and ask me, they may get that coach a call. Man, that coach, I know I already got burnt. I done co-signed for a kid 4 years ago with this same coach. That coach ain't it ain't the same now. And that's the part when you have to realize when it's in recruiting business, a lot of you guys, you want the coach, you really want the coach to help you, but you're trying to make the coach feel like your kid is going to help, like you're helping them. If you're helping them, then you're giving them a player that is going to eventually generate or help to generate a pay raise for that coach. That's the player that the coach is looking for. Otherwise, you're looking for the kid and yourself to get a pay raise because you want some NIL or you want the opportunity. So the great relationships is those that can help each other. Kid gonna play. Kid gonna get some NIL. The coach who referred him, you stripe on your sleeve. Now when you call me about another kid, now guess what? I'm gonna put the word in because the last one you gave me a stripe on my sleeve. So it made my credit good. Too many of you guys out there have fucked up my credit with these college coaches. And you know it. Then you get mad when you're trying to come with another one like I done forgot. Everybody wants to forget the misses, but you'll never forget the makes. And that's what's happening. And so as a result, it's like an attorney. You get into a car wreck or an accident, you can call, or you feel like you have your civil rights violated and you want to call Ben Crump. He's not taking every case. You're not taking every case. It's a reason. So, with this stuff, I always ask multiple questions because my credibility is at stake. If I co-sign your kid who you believe in, I don't really know. You know him. I just know him, the basketball player. But it's more to recruiting than just on the court. People they must know, eventually they will find out some things about the kids off the court. I don't have no problem at all. I actually root for the kids, the ones that had the hard stories, had to get it out the mud and have a good, I love those stories. But at least when you're getting me to co-sign, you're soliciting me to stand up for your situation or your player, then if you don't let me know the disclaimer, then you put me out there on the plank. Ain't nothing wrong if the kid been in handcuffs. There are some coaches that take kids that been in handcuffs. What are we talking about? Depending on how talented he is. Depending on how tall he is. Depending on how smart he is. Depending on how many times he been in handcuffs. And depending on what he was in handcuffs for. That matters. But man, that ain't my business. Hey man, kid need another chance. A coach that might take a kid in his hand that been in handcuffs. Yeah, I know a few of them. Then what's his stats? Well, he played at Boogaloo State, but he can go to University of Texas. Call Sean Miller. Guys, you guys think I'm joking? I'm gonna read you off a text message. I'm not gonna tell you who it's from. Right? And I'm gonna read this text message. I don't think it has nobody's name in it, right? So I don't wanna. It's not gonna embarrass nobody. It's just gonna show you how. It's gonna show you. Hold on. Hold on. This is an intriguing conversation. The parent sent this to me. And I'm trying to see. Man, this is funny too. Dang. Anyway, I'm trying to find this text, guys. I know y'all would have loved this text message. And y'all would have loved this text message. And I don't know what happened to it. God dog it. But anyway, I'll paraphrase it. Here we go. Now, here you go. Here you go. Now this kid played for a low major. It's another kid, not the same one, a low major school. He did not even start at his school. You ready for this? I can't make this up. Can you hit University of Houston up for me? Blank, it's his son, has 1 year left. I will have something for your bank account if you make that happen. He has good film. He didn't even start for the low major, and you feel that this young man is good enough for University of Houston. So finally, after I took it across the street, and they said, "Are you serious?" I said, "Yeah, man." Coach, and I texted him back and says, "Houston coach says they are not interested." I can put many of you guys out your misery. If you want to know the truth, I would go and find the truth out. But you got to quit lying to these kids and yourselves in regards to this stuff. You can't trick this stuff, man. You can't. You can't. I'm dead serious. You guys know that. Y'all know that, man. This is how the portal, and this young man is in the portal now. And I'm joking. I'm not joking. I'm telling you, I'm reading you stuff. I'm dead serious. It's so much misinformation out there. And so many people are trying their best to just prove somebody wrong. That you'll do it at all costs to try to prove somebody wrong. Only to end up proving yourself wrong. Let me tell you guys something. It's an old saying. Yeah, Timothy Sam, you say you got a bag for me. I don't work for you, parents. I don't work for you. I'm more or less like an insurance agency to the schools. I don't work for the college coaches. The checks that come to me, it don't say the coach's name on there. It has the school name on there. The institution. Whether that coach is there or not. Now, some people have a loyalty to one or the other. Each his own. And guess what? I have favor from some college coaches over others. That's human nature. What we talking about? You doggone right. There's multiple college coaches that I've ate at their dinner table. I've ate with their families. I broke bread with in restaurants abroad, across the country. Yes, different type of relationship. And there's some I've ate with or broke bread with, and that might have been the first meeting. I don't know you, so I don't really have obligation or feeling to favor you. That might have been a meeting you're trying to get me to know you so that I can give you favor on a job recommendation. See, my value goes up, guys, this time of the year, because coaches then realize that a lot of people that, you know, in the business, you know, you got a certain relationship, you lean back on people that might can help you and give you a phone number, help put a word in. Every little bit helps. So Final Four time is approaching next week. Many college coaches will be having, or they used to have interviews or conduct interviews at the Final Four. Now, not so much as it used in yesteryear, because a lot of coaches know it's so easy because of social media. They can't move around in silence as they used to. So a lot of coaches, they'll just fly those coaches out away from the Final Four and conduct their meetings or their interviews on their campuses. That way now, it's quiet here. We're secluded here. But coaches are definitely going to approach me and pick my brain on some finalists or some potential pool members or who I think about this guy. Because here's the deal. Understand how this goes. Different college coaches have different people on their staff that may specialize or may profess to specialize in recruiting a certain area, whether it be north, south, east, or west. So that means as upon hiring these guys, those coaches, those bosses, or the head coach will often go back and pick the brain of a person who dwell in that part of the country or that city that a coach claims he has great connections in. There's nothing wrong with that. That's doing reference checks. Or they might ask, hey man, who's your top 3 guys that recruit your area? People ask, I get that question, man, right now, at least 3, 4, 5 times a day over the past week, people calling me, picking my brains with that type of stuff. It happens. And that's just me. They're going to make that call to other people in other parts of the country based on the coach and what he claims to do. You know Jim Hicks? Yeah, that's my guy. I know Jim Hicks. I love him. Well, coach might ask me, might not even mention this guy's name. He just might say, man, who's your 3 best guys that recruit that area, assistant coaches right now, this year? And if I don't mention this guy's name, then that's a yellow flag. Because that guy done told the coach that I'm his guy and I'm his plug. You see? That's why a lot of times the assistant coaches will let me know, hey man, can you put in the word with so-and-so? If you see so-and-so down there, hey, I'm trying to get on with so-and-so. That way now I'm alert. Because for most part, I've been doing this so long that the people who open their mouth and ask me, coaches that I broke bread with, I don't have no problem putting your name in a hat or amongst a name with a group of names. I do it all the time. I do it all the time. Now, there are some coaches that'll call me, hey man, Jay Lucas, man, in Miami, man, can I get? I said, my question would be immediately to everybody. It's almost like a pre-recorded recording. When is the last time you talked with Jay Lucas? Well, man, I ain't got his number. I ain't never met with him, but I seen his day. Hold on. So you really think, as smart as Jay Lucas is, that he's going to hire somebody that he's never met before for an immediate position within the confines of his privacy? He ain't that type of dude. I'm telling you, coach, I can help you, but you trying to climb the trees. All I can do, coach, here go his cell number, coach. You can reach it for yourself. I can't co-sign that. I can't. Can't co-sign you on that. I got some other guys that up the totem pole way that he knows. You haven't even talked with him. You done passed by this guy 1,700 times. You ain't never said how you doing. That's what relationships and nurturing relationships, that's what that does. That's the importance of that. And you want me to go, come on, man. So, looking at some of the look at Norris Davis. Shout out to Norris Davis. That disappointment is sometimes by design. Yeah. Paul Brandon say, I can co-sign that statement on that statement. Jimmy put me in with several coaches. I mean, I've guys, and same thing. It's just not college coaches, high school coaches alike. High school coaches ask me, they got several jobs open. Man, can you put me in with this? You can get an interview with this. They know I'm in different rooms now. I've been fortunate enough to purposely place myself in different rooms. And that's all I try to get people to understand in life. We go to the Final Four next week. Yeah, it's going to be a pumps party. Yeah, it's going to be a sneaker brand party. Yeah, hell, I even got a big party we do every year at the Final Four. A week from today, actually. But at the same time, yeah, just like we're congregating, them presidents and them board members, they got a party going on too. The athletic directors, 2 or 3 or 4 of them, they got a party. They got a suite where they got some stuff going on, and they got a party going on too. You got to try to get yourselves in different rooms. So that in order to get in a different room, most of the time somebody has to co-sign. Remember I used that word a while ago? They got to co-sign for you to come and get into the room. True story. It has to. They got to walk you in. You got to be somebody's plus one. So when somebody think of you to make you their plus one in advance. Now, many of you guys, it's fate. You just might be at the right place at the right time. And somebody's, oh man, I got this shit. Come on, you want to go? Nah, that's good. That's good. That's just, hey, nothing wrong with fate. Nothing wrong with good timing. Nothing wrong with being lucky. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. But when you get an opportunity to get into a different room, you never know when it's going to happen again. Because you get in that room and you can socialize well without being too flamboyant or noticeable, then somebody's going to invite you back. Then you might be able to connect and be a plus one for another party they got tomorrow of like minds. Now you come back and you meet again. That means now you're there. And your objective when you get into those rooms is to be able to just not push your narrative. You're not there to push and get your favor granted. You're there to be a student, to be a sponge, to go and ask questions of how about them, about their success. How did they make it? Where they from? And sometimes people get intrigued or they're appreciative of the person that can ask questions. Especially if you're in a room or if you're in a small meeting or you're in a small gathering, because now that person get to brag on themselves with their resume. Can't be intimidated when you get in those rooms. And then there's some people they're not going to make you their plus one because they don't feel that you fit into that room. So they're not going to invite you. It's like inviting my ass to a Klan rally. That ain't going to, why would, I'm going to be your plus one to a Klan rally. Right? Nah, I'm good. So, as you guys smoke, okay, Doug Jones says he just added the stats to the transfer portal list. Boy, that's a great job, Doug. I like that. Damn cool. Hold on. Let me do Doug Jones, here you go. Now, so that means now the portal list, you guys can go to rcssports.com and you go on the front of there and you'll see the transfer portal 2025 Greater Houston. And you'll see we've added a column that can help everyone, college coaches and people, understand why some of these people are in the portal. Some, because they might have felt they didn't outgrow the britches of the school, of what they're wearing right now. Some are going to transfer and don't have no basketball resume from where they are. But everybody transfer has to go in the portal. So that means now if a person has minimal stats at a low major, then that means a high major knows not to waste his time, right? Looking at or even inquiring. That way now, I mentioned you guys. The guy called me yesterday about the player at the low major and asked me about Will Wade's cell number for this kid. And I'm like, what did he average this year? Oh, he averaged about 5 points. I'm sorry. He averaged about 12 points a game at the low major. Okay, that's good. What makes you think he'd be to play in the ACC? And did he? He didn't even dominate. Does he want to be on the team? I asked him that. All that I just told you guys a while ago. And I'm looking, Doug, that's a great job. So now we can see. We got the games that the kids played, the minutes that they average, along with the points and any other pertinent stat that goes along with it. So that's for every one of them that played. And one thing about it, though, I can tell you one thing. In this transfer portal for the Greater Houston players, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's approximately 13 players out of the 32 that averaged approximately 20 minutes or more. If I go reach down and pick and add the ones that averaged over 15 minutes, it's probably going to be close to 18 or so players, which is a good number. That means that's a good sample size for their body of work. Now, points and everything, but that's a good job, Doug, on that. Now, Chad, we go back to the convo. Chad says, Hicks, what about the assistant coaches that call about the coaches' social at the Final Four, and they all busy? They all busy to call in months, but they need your help when they fire. That's rinse, wash, and repeat, Chad. That's the life that we live in, you know. And so all you have to do is you just remind the coach, if he subscribes to your scouting service, then I encourage you to feel somewhat obligated to at least attempt to help that grown man that feels that he's in need in order to help try to feed his family. Because he was nice enough to help his establishment subscribe to your service. So that's the advice I give on that. Came from say, I still have a relationship with coaches because of cheat sheet and I've been out of the game. Yeah. I mean, you nurture those relationships. Yeah. That's good stuff. Good stuff. Big coach say, I got wheel ways now. I get it. But it's 53 minutes past the hour. And like I said, great convo on that. I got another topic on recruiting. And that is I just got some breaking news. Of course, Tony Dorado, long time Nike, was over the teams, and he's retiring from his position with Nike. So that's sad news. My guy Uncle Tony might have drunk my first glass of red. He introduced me to red, and anyway, I talked with him later on that. I see Corey Henderson is back with us, y'all, in the building. Shout out to Corey. And I told you guys who are afraid you missed on my picks. I don't know if I gave picks. Yeah, I did. My picks was in my bracket. You missed that. I published my bracket earlier. But y'all got something real quick I want to let y'all. So of course this weekend coming up, and that's the Battle of the Brands basketball tournament is going on. Will take place at the Den Sports Complex as well as Dawson High School and a couple of the schools middle schools that feed into Pearland ISD. To Pearland High School and Dawson High School. And I was looking, what's today? Is today 27th? Yeah, I gotta tell y'all about that as well. And I was looking and I saw Clyde Jackson, and the Houston Defender, Blue Chips and the Defenders, they collaborated on this event, which has turned out to be appears to be a great success in respect to the amount of teams that they have attracted, right, from around the state of Texas. And they're right at the heels on the spring icebreaker, meaning that for us the most teams, they right there, shoot, as far as the amount of teams. So they did a great job. But what I have for you guys is And another event that's also taking place is the Houston Legacy, taking place this weekend. That's at the MI3 Center. That's Hal Pastner is hosting. One of the things I saw that Clyde had called me, I think it was either last night or this morning, and he mentioned that he posted the prices for his event. Because a year ago, this particular event had made headlines because for disturbing reasons, because of the fact that when people came and they paid, and the prices were, they did not know it was sticker shock. So this year, Clyde and I encouraged him. I said, man, put your prices out, because that way you have what they call consumer confidence. We'll state where we'll be in your favor. That way people can make a choice. So he put the prices out, $20 a day, $50 for a weekend pass. Ain't the most you're gonna pay. But at the same time, I'm assuming the $50 per day, $50 weekend pass is for those who buy it on Friday. So that means I'm not sure if there's a weekend pass on Saturday. There's a different price for that, but it's $20 per day. Now, I'm also not sure about, and I would encourage, because it's a new day, is if you guys, I encourage you teams or you team directors, if you're playing in any event, ask the event operator. Remember, I'm always giving you guys game to help you win, to help you not get defeated in this whole gist of things. Here's what you ask the event operator: are the prices the same whether it's cash or card? Because nowadays, a lot of us have begun to start, a lot of us event operators have begun to pass on the credit card fees on to you. So that means if it's $20, is the credit card going to be $25? Last year, this event, the credit card fees was like right now $28. Well, total. So ask the question. That way you have the option to exercise whether you want to go and stop at the ATM, go reach in your ashtray, go look under your mattress, your shoebox, or bust open that piggy bank and bring cash or not. That's a great question. I'm just telling you guys. That way you don't end up having headaches. And you have the option. You can watch it on Baller TV. You have the option. Remember, you make your statement with your actions. And that's with anything. But at the same time, if you're going to have that energy towards any of these events, I don't know how much Hal Pastner is charging this weekend. I haven't seen them post it. But Clyde Jackson posted it with the Gulf Coast Blue Chips because as a direct response to the backlash he received a year ago. And at the recommendation, possibly, I tried to encourage him to do so, which he did. Put your prices out, man. Don't even put your hand behind your back. Either they're going to come or they ain't going to come. And you guys, I mean, that's the ticket on that. So I hope that some of this stuff, I'm looking right now, Doug say, the Doug's Dozen Classic will always be $15 a day. Now, lastly, speaking of events, I didn't do a lot public because it's kind of invite only, but now I'm going to open it up because we're at capacity. We're at capacity. but I can take about 12 more slots. And that is, we have an unsigned senior showcase next on April the 6th, Sunday, April the 6th, right in San Antonio. This unsigned senior showcase is going to be 10 times better than the spring icebreaker senior showcase, because it's more college coaches that are expected to be in attendance. Think about it, guys. A lot of things you have to do your homework, and whether you determine money grabs or not. This is not a money grab. It's only only $150. And there's a lot of non-Division I college coaches that are always at the Final Four, because they will be there for a couple of reasons. One, those non-Division I coaches will be in San Antonio in order to network for possibly future employment, meaning try to interview, try to get in and get up the ranks in the Division I. That's one reason. Another reason they'll be in town, trying to network some of their players for some of those Division I coaches to take. That'll be in the port. Hey man, I got a guy, man. I got a guy. We got 1 year left. He's a grad coach. You might can use him. He was all conference. So they're there to network for their players. Lobby. So there's a network. They're there to lobby. And then some are there just to partake the ambiance. Fellowship with their fraternity brothers in the basketball brotherhood. So we have the unsigned senior event on that Sunday, which means there's going to be a lot of coaches that are expected to come out there and show up. It's from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. It doesn't bump heads with nothing. You can sleep late. You can drive pretty much from Houston, from Dallas, and make it there without having to buy a hotel room. If that was a money grab, we would go and get the hotel to write us an agreement and stretch it over the 2 days, make you have to go and buy a hotel room, and we would go and get a rebate, $10 off to $15 to $20 off each night that you stay in your hotel room. Then that way, and also get the points off your hotel room for our Bunvoy rewards or our Hilton honors. And then guess what? We would eat off of you that way, plus off the camp. We're not doing that. $150. You have to be approved. But you Chop Shop guys, if you got an unsigned senior, he needs to be at this thing if he ain't got nothing. Especially if he's 6'3" or taller. Especially if he's 6'3" or taller. You can't afford not to take advantage of certain opportunities. You're not stuck in the gym all day. You still can get back home, right? Before the news comes on. If you're interested in that particular unsigned senior showcase, right? Then I tell you what you do. I'm trying to see if I have. I don't think I have it. I don't think I have it. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what I just did. Now, I just gave you my personal email address. Very easy. It's hard for you to forget. It's hard to forget. rcs@usa.com. I haven't met an easier email address in my life. I like simplifying fractions. If you need a nomination for a player, I will email you back personally only within the next hour. And then you can go and get one of these young people up in there and probably help them change their life. At this point, whoever you believed in before, it just didn't work out the way that they probably planned for it to at this point. So guess what? It happens. All eggs don't hatch on the same day. So what we got to do now is you got to go and you have to go and probably go to 2 or 3 unsigned senior showcases. You have to go to some tryouts. You have to invest in yourself directly right now. This ain't no team in sport. This is you, the individual. And these are auditions to go and possibly save yourself thousands of dollars in college costs as you get to play basketball while helping to earn your college degree. Right? Yeah, Doug Jones would be in the building at it's called a Southwest Exposure Camp. Sunday, April the 6th in San Antonio. You guys remember the name Christopher Rivers? Chris Rivers used to be he was one of the most powerful men in grassroots basketball. At one point, at one point he probably was if not amongst the most powerful black men in all of grassroots basketball in the world. Chris Rivers will be the guest speaker at this Southwest Exposure Camp. He's going to talk about NIL. He's going to give you some skull therapy, and it ain't nothing that he hadn't seen in this stuff. So, providing you a good product, charging you a reasonable price, and all you have to do, and coaches will be there. You just got to take advantage of the opportunity. What do you have to lose, guys? This is what I'm talking about. So, I want you to take that and hopefully, at this point, it's time to slide down Dino's back. Don't forget, guys, I'm back on television this weekend, Saturday, 9:30 p.m. I'm on Channel 39 in Houston. Next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm on the AT&T Sports Southwest, which is now also known as Space City Home Network in Houston. That you can see, that's the game that the Houston Rockets and the Astros both are broadcast on. So I'm on, depending on their game times, before, in most cases, at some point before their games, the Rockets and or the Astros. Like today, I was on at 12 o'clock. They broadcast the show because the Astros come on at 3. Also, shout out to Isaiah Carey. It's that time of year baseball. He reached back out. I'll be talking Astros on Fox 26. You guys can catch that either tonight or tomorrow. You'll be able to see that show. We're going to tape this evening after the Astros and the Mets game. So it's time to head on downtown, get some Astros action in, and I'll see you guys on next week. I thank you guys for tuning in. It's going to be a short week for me because of Final Four festivities. I'll be back in the box, of course, as well. And meanwhile, don't forget to share the show on your way out the door. I thank you guys so much for tuning into the Chop Shop. Thank you for keeping it rocking for these 2 hours. And I also thank you guys for taking the time out to share the show to your pages, to your groups, and your social media platforms. Now, don't forget, you can catch that transfer portal list along with the stats on rcssports.com, and you'll see it on the front page along with the VIP news. Go get your little scoop of that as well. But I see you guys on Monday. We're getting ready to rock up out here. Peace. You guys be good and be safe over the weekend. Peace. Chop Shop.